Kansas disc golf is huge, actually. It's, I mean, we've always had a Kansas tour, a KDGA tour, for years and years since I've been playing disc golf, actually. There was a tour already established, and Emporia was always a stop on it. So obviously the World Championships going down right here in Emporia, Kansas is huge for us in Kansas and the sport in general, because I think we've got a crew that's better than anybody at running events, and we're just really excited to make this thing happen.
So Kansas disc golf to me is, it means the world. I've played in a lot of tournaments here. We've obviously played in previous World Championships, Kansas City Wide Opens. Kansas City's also hosted Worlds in 2009, I believe. So they've got a lot of history here, and as a player, they offer courses that allow us to showcase our skills at the top level.
Disc golf in Kansas, obviously windy, but I always think it's a lot of fun. The 2009 World Championships was kind of my first great performance at a Worlds. I ended up taking 5th place in Kansas City, and I obviously have really fond memories of that as a young player.
It has been amazing to see that here in Kansas the disc golf is so big. Like back in Finland, the disc golf is booming, and I can see the similar things comparing to Finland to Kansas.
It's definitely unique in the fact that you don't necessarily battle the woods as much as you do in other places. You're kind of battling the weather, but yeah, so Kansas is definitely a unique place to play.
So definitely the weather is so much different than past in springtime, but yeah, it's going to affect my preparation for the tournament a lot.
So my preparation has been totally inadequate, but we'll see what happens. You know, I got here late, had no opportunity to do any field work at home, but I rested, so hopefully my arm's fresh. Thankfully, on the mental side, I have my wife and daughter here with me, and that's pretty important to me. I've not really ever been able to bring them along.
You know, been a lot of emotions attached to the Dynamic Disc Open because my sister died here 2 years ago, and this year I got the win. I felt like she was in my corner helping me get there and get the win. And I'm hoping this year that she's following me around, giving me some good breaks and allowing me to play to the best of my ability.
It feels amazing to represent Finland and play for the Finns, because I know there's a lot of Finnish fans. That feels so good to have the support from the Finland, and man, it's so cool.
If you're new to the game, welcome. I hope you're having a great time. It's awesome that YouTube is here, Gatekeeper, Jomez, everybody who's out here bringing you content. It's a great time to be a fan, it's a great time to be a player, and I'm lucky to be a part of this game.
Hey folks, and welcome here to Gatekeeper Media as we bring you coverage of the Disc Golf World Championships here for 2022 out in Emporia, Kansas. And we appreciate you all for tuning in. With, of course, a special thank you to all of our Patreon supporters who helped make this possible. We're in round one with our feature card here at the Jones Supreme 18, and I am Dustin Mouret, and joining me is Nathan Queen.
And as you said, out here at the Supreme 18 course in Emporia, Kansas, we got a preview earlier this year at DDO and back again for the World Championships now. We've got an awesome card we get to watch with Nate Sexton, Ricky Wysocki, Calvin Heimburg, and Väinö Mäkelä.
Indeed, and we got some players to watch here. Many world titles already on the list for some of these players, and many great players in fine form looking for their first. As we'll start looking at some bags.
Yeah, straight into Nate Sexton's bag. Going to be putting with the Firefly, and definitely known for throwing those darts. Added the Toro to his bag recently, and we'll see Firebird, Destroyer, and X-Cal for those longer shots.
Yeah, we get to Ricky Wysocki, of course, known for putting that dagger, throwing the hearts and the slammer for the upshots. Also going to be seeing some Felons, Raiders, and Rives, I imagine, for distance, as well as maybe some Enforcers if the wind is up.
Into Calvin Heimburg's bag, putting with the KC Pros, throws the Rhino and AVR X3 a lot for those up shots. Also has that Toro in the bag, and we're going to see Draco and Destroyer from him a lot.
Now we get to Väinö Mäkelä, putting the PA3, of course A2 and A3s for approaches. We're going to be seeing, of course, some D2s out there. Got the Falcor and some D1s for more overstable, as well as an X1 for something really overstable.
And then interesting hole one, I'll say. Very difficult to start your round. Got to make a tough decision immediately.
We are live on the tee at the 2:20 p.m. tee time. First to tee, Nate Sexton.
And Nate Sexton up first, ranked number 21 in the UDisc World Rankings right now, 84 career MPO wins, including the 2017 USDGC. This year he came 10th at Portland, 11th at OTB, had a couple other top 25 finishes on tour as well. And obviously just a big ambassador for the game, commentator, content creator, you name it, he does it. Great to have him on the card.
And we'll get to see him try to attack this first hole. You do have an option to lay up short of this creek. If you go long of it, you must land on this island. And he's going to be heading to that drop zone, you see.
Ricky Wysocki, currently number 2 in the UDisc World Rankings and number 1 in DGPT point standings. He's a 2-time world champion, winning his first one in this very stretch in 2016. Has some titles already this year at Texas State's Ledgestone and at DDO on these very courses from earlier this year.
And they've made a couple changes to this hole from earlier this year, which could make it play a bit easier, including that backstop. Definitely helping Ricky out here. Let's take a look at that replay.
Yeah, as you said, that backstop has really helped stop some of the deeper drives from skipping off the backside. Made it a touch easier, but still playing very difficult.
Teeing off third, Calvin Heimburg.
And now Calvin, number 5 in the UDisc World Rankings and 2nd in our DGPT point standings. Already had some titles this year at Jonesboro and D-Glow, as well as 6 total podium finishes for the year. Certainly known for his consistency.
Yeah, and so far, nobody feeling the need to lay up. And Calvin just sneaking over the top of that wall. Easy birdie putt.
Rounding out the 2:20 p.m. tee time, Väinö Mäkelä.
And Väinö Mäkelä, number 25 in the UDisc World Rankings, came 3rd at DDO, 6th at the European Open, and recently 11th at the Des Moines Challenge. So one of our stronger European competitors who's made it over here to North America for the Pro Tour as well as now Worlds.
Also going with that right-handed backhand. And not quite gonna get up over those rocks that you see there. We've got 2 attempts from the drop zone here, which can get pretty scary.
I know this drop zone is a bit easier than DDO, though. I believe now it's only about 55 to 60 feet straight onto the basket. So it's a little more attainable to save par than it was before.
Yeah, and you see these soft bids here, still not wanting to go OB a second time on the back end. So definitely more attainable, but difficult to commit to.
Yeah, I mean, this was DDO when this was the first hole there as well. Probably the most daunting starting hole of the year. And while it's been made a bit easier with this backstop and the new drop zone, it is still, I think, the most daunting starting hole in disc golf for 2022.
Yeah, it's got to be, if not the only one of the few where hole 1 plays as the hardest hole on the course. Which it did today, 3.21. Not many holes over par, but this one was the most.
Yeah, I think nearly half the field bogey or worse. It was 51% for DDO. I think this event today it was 46 or 48%. Tough.
Yeah, pretty high numbers there. Bringing us into hole 2. A pretty difficult par 5, 1,087 feet, gradually uphill the entire way. You really want to bite off 400 feet at least on your first 2 shots. You could go big backhand roller off of the tee to try to get a little extra distance, but there is OB left side and OB right side if you get too far right.
Yeah, you got some tricky approach shots as well on this hole once you get off the tee. To be able to attack for birdie this is a great turnover from Ricky Wysocki. Can it stay in though is the problem, and it does.
Yeah, that's I don't throw far enough to really know exactly what that position brings, but I believe he's got a chance to throw over top of the water now and be in a pretty good spot for his third shot.
Probably going to have to crash a big hyzer in, you're right. Calvin just goes right around the same area. Really well done.
It'll be interesting to see what Calvin does from there. He's kind of in between on which side would be better to play.
Nate also drifts over to this right-hand side. Does stay inbound still. And one thing we have to talk about, Nate, is just the wind difference between what we're experiencing for Worlds and what we experience for DDO. It is night and day.
Yeah, if we were here or earlier this year at DDO, you could probably see the grass moving that's cut about 3/4 of an inch. You'd probably be able to see that moving earlier on this year. And Väinö just a bit low there.
Point being, I think these courses are going to be a bit more scoreable, but there's still not many holes where you can take your foot off the gas. It requires your full attention to approach these greens.
And all of these players, even with that lower drive, did get close to that 400-foot mark you're looking for off of the tee. Sexton going big hyzer over the top. It looks like he's able to cross and stay in bounds.
I imagine Ricky's looking to do something very similar. And indeed, he's put it way up there.
Uh-oh, heads up, Rick.
And again, looks like he's going to stay in bounds. But these plays would not be possible with the amount of wind that we had earlier this year. You just wouldn't put your disc up that high.
And Calvin elects to take that forehand approach, but in a similar landing zone to the rest. What a beauty.
Yeah, great forehand.
Yeah.
Using the left side of that fairway, making sure he doesn't skip too far to the right side.
That's a compliment you're probably going to be paying to Nate Sexton a lot, as he's certainly known for that forehand. Great approach from Väinö as well.
Calvin going to be up inside the circle as well. Our feature card here looking to make hole 2 look pretty easy.
Yeah, a little Wysocki bomb slammer flick there from Ricky will put him near the bullseye just like Calvin was. So, yeah, we should be seeing a lot of birdies here. Perhaps our star frame early.
Oh.
You're not going to count that on me, are you? That's not a caster's curse, surely.
Well, I don't know. I feel like he would normally make that putt.
I was merely suggesting it was possible we could get a star frame. I wasn't calling it. I feel like a technicality gets me out of that one.
This would have been a good hole to get a star frame on. It's the 5th most difficult on the course today. Just averaging 0.08 strokes below par. There was still a bit of trouble, though, with the OB. We had 20% of the field taking bogey or above. So we see 3 birdies here with Ricky tapping his in, and Calvin and Ricky both off to a hot start, 2 for 2.
It's definitely a great way to get things going here for your first round at Worlds, no doubt about it. As we now move into number 3. Very daunting water carry.
Daunting is the exact word I was going to say. 654-foot par 4. You've got about 415 feet of water carry to get over the OB. If you've got any type of headwind, that just gets much more difficult. You really have to control your tee shot as well, as there's OB right if you get too far. And then you can land right in there's this bush you can land right in the middle of. Can block your shot up to the basket.
I believe that's Ricky pushing past that very bush you were talking about into an amazing spot.
So far. So yeah, sorry to cut you off there. That's just an incredible shot. So much distance.
We're about to see another one do the exact same thing, I think, here from Calvin, also known for his distance. I'm gonna stop.
He tried to get it done there. Looks like he just caught some of the top branches. We'll see how much issue he's gonna have. Yeah. There it is again.
He's 2 for 3 right now, swatting them down.
I feel like Sexton may be more one to go in front of that and maybe cross to the left side. Oh, gets a nice...
Lots of turn.
Yeah, lots of turn on this.
Gets away from that OB, though, no problem. Should have a clear approach.
So precise, 450 feet. Most of the flight across the water and just a nice little flex shot.
Well, Calvin had a window there. He's able to skip it up, give himself at least a long bid. Oh, my.
Wow.
What a save.
That's a great shot through those branches. You never know what's going to happen when you're throwing through some trees like that. So it's difficult to not put too much on it, expecting it to hit something on the way out.
Just an easy chip up here for Ricky. We got 3 disc in the bullseye. And Calvin with the long bid from circle 2.
Not quite able to connect for his turkey here. Sexton going to get on the board, though. Get on the board and get back to even.
Early turkey for Ricky, though. Certainly one of the favorites coming into this event, considering his win at DDO and just how well he's been playing this year, and he's certainly off to a hot start. Back after a short break to see if he can keep it up.
On to hole 4, 668-foot par 4. Pretty open tee shot. They moved the OB on the left side in a little bit from earlier on this year. But you really have a lot of room. There's OB right side as well. Really want to get 400 feet off of the tee or so. Leave you inside 330 feet.
This looks a little overturned from Ricky. Not what he wanted at all, I don't think.
No, that's still decent distance, though. He should still have a chance to attack the green from there.
Is the mistake to make, I suppose, staying away from the OB. This looks great from Väinö.
Yeah, he's gotten way out there and given himself an opportunity to maybe even throw a straight backhand at the pin. If not, does have an easy forehand line there. And he's
Panned out at least. Kind of flattened out for him. Didn't really cut roll dangerously.
yeah, it was pretty close to the right side.
That is a smash. See you later.
Calvin's discs just move so fast. It's incredible how straight he can keep his disc for so long.
I think that's like what he's known for, I feel like. It's just long and straight and forever.
Yeah, I didn't get it flat enough.
Yeah, it just the most relaxed distance, I guess I would say.
Tricky approach here for Ricky. Trying to fight through. Gonna be an obstructed putt though. As you said, Väinö, though, clear as day approach in front of him here. Can just throw a straight backhand.
That is not something you see often on this hole. That is a smash of a tee shot to get that far.
Just outside the bullseye.
Yeah, pinpoints that backhand nicely.
This is the most ridiculous routine approach ever for Calvin for this hole. My goodness. It's
Yeah,
like a cheat code.
Just when I was talking about how far Väinö threw, I forgot Calvin still hasn't even gone yet.
Oh. Nice bid there, but we'll have to settle. Oh my, if he would have sunk that.
Oh, did you see he was about to take off? Looked like he was on the line for the 100 meters right there.
Yeah, the Raptor legs were getting charged up for sure. We'll have to wait though. Calvin though finds the birdie.
Yeah,
Väinö will do the same.
Catching back up to 3 down for the round. Lots of birdies on this hole, 48% of the field. And not many of them finding that OB, only 9% taking bogey or above. So one of the easier holes on the course for this round.
Great turkey for Väinö here after missing hole 1. Bounces back very well.
Yeah, sometimes that bogey on hole 1 is just what you need to get fired up for the round. Into hole 5, 385-foot par 3. Got this low ceiling gap, the drone's flying through. There's also more of a hyzer gap off to the right side. The ditch that we crossed where that bridge is at is playing OB, unlike earlier on this year. But as long as you miss these branches, that shouldn't really come too much into play for the guys.
Yeah, and I imagine most of them will be taking that wide right gap you were talking about. Just kind of sets up for that pushing hyzer. Just like that.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Väinö, for illustrating how to play the hole.
Yeah, and that's got a good chance to put him with 4 in a row.
I don't know that Calvin meant to take that line.
Definitely not. That had I believe that had the angle that he wanted on it. He just missed his line. If it would have been off to that right side, it was going to hyzer towards the pin.
Little baby flex here from Ricky.
Yeah, going with something overstable.
Oh, no. Oh!
And getting that. I feel like that's got to be some world champ love there. We don't.
Oh,
see
he's flashing the ring for that one for sure.
You don't really see Rhodes grip a disc and put him back inbounds too often. Skip in. Oh! Oh! No way!
From barely missing the tree to barely missing the ace. What a shot from Nate Sexton. Just skipping into the top band. Wow.
Almost hit in 2 ways.
Oh, man, what a shot. Gets a bit of an anti-skip, hits the band. Almost some fireworks early on for Nate Sexton. Should give him a good chance to get under par, though.
Ricky misses the chance at birdie after narrowly staying in bounds. Here's Väinö, though, after essentially parking the hole. He'll extend that turkey to 4 in a row. Very hot start here for Väinö out of Finland. So again, he did do well at DDO, so he does know these courses and has played well here before.
As Calvin cleans up his par, 52% par. Only 6% taking the bogey on this one, so not too much trouble. As Ricky just squeaked in bounds to be able to maintain that par. On to hole 6, 315-foot par 3, island hole with an elevated basket. pretty difficult hole to get to. It's a bit of a raised, there's a bit of elevation right in front of you before you have to cross the water. And it just really makes the nose angle difficult to land on this green right out on this little peninsula.
Also can give you a very scary putt if you land deep at the pin like this.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
kind of like a mini hole 16 from the other course we'll be playing at the Emporia Country Club. I believe it's a similar distance even, if not the exact same.
Yeah, it says similar. I feel like this one feels shorter.
Okay.
As Nate Sexton throws a nice forehand to just outside the bullseye. Although he's looking at the water, that shouldn't be too scary for him.
It's fading a lot for Calvin.
Yeah, this is early. And he is going to go to a pretty difficult drop zone. This one doesn't really leave you in a good position. It's about 170 feet. And you kind of have to make your way through some trees.
Oh, man. Hits the tree and rolls OB, so we have 2 players going to that drop zone you were referring to. And unlike hole 16 at Country Club, there really is no saving par from this.
No, if you throw it in from here, total accident. And you ought to be laughing your way to the next tee pad, because that's a good shot from the drop zone there. That's about what you want to do. Get yourself close enough to have a stress-free bogey.
Tester here for Calvin. Does find it, though.
Yeah,
Limits the damage.
Big putt. Big putt to keep that at a single bogey right there and not lose too much momentum.
Väinö is just killing it right now with 5 in a row.
Yeah, you can't. I mean, minus that bogey to start, maybe. I don't know if he would have got 5 in a row without that bogey. Sometimes it can just get you moving.
The ripple effects. Indeed.
As Ricky is going to card his first bogey here, see if that gets him moving for the round. We'll be right back.
He's way out of position. Like,
he's gonna have to force it, though.
I don't think he can.
I think it's even possible.
It's in the impossible range.
The way Worlds ended last year, you couldn't have wrote that in a book.
After the initial reaction, I had to process.
If you don't even think it's a sport, watching this moment has to get you pumped up.
He's going to need the shot of the century.
I could sense something was about to happen.
And moving into hole 7, one that's pretty much the same. There's a little bit of OB change right there from DDO. The OB's moved down a bit lower, but you want to get about 400 feet off of the tee to be in a good position to attack this pin. That'll give you a bit flat footing. If you're much shorter than that, you've kind of got an uphill run up. It's going to be harder to either get to the left or around to the right of that last bush before the basket.
Great shot from Väinö. I don't know if it's this hole, Nate, and so I do apologize when I'm off, but I know that some of these greens have also been trimmed up since DDO, making it a little easier to find the putt if you're within circle 1.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure. I like this play from Sexton. It really takes the road out of play. Going OB in that road, and he does have a smash of a forehand. That is about that 400 feet.
Time for Calvin's specialty, long laser beam. Just such little lateral movement.
Yep, there it is. Does end up coming up a bit shorter than Nate's forehand did, but still going to be in a good spot. Low right out of Ricky.
Man, that's going to make that approach way trickier. Butter.
Fantastic shot. What did he go to binoculars there? Was he?
I don't know.
Looked like he might have put his hand up, watching himself park it, and Calvin followed the vapor trails of that line.
I don't know how Ricky can approach the green from this position. I don't even think he can get a full stroke. He's so close to the fence.
He got way far up there for being so low. Not quite able to get around that last tree. Gonna have some tough branches in the way.
Good shot. Thank you.
A third birdie look there. I guess you can never really count Ricky out. It looks like he's trying to line this one up for his birdie also.
Seems to have a window. Oh, just high.
Oh, you hate it. Putt feels so good. You think it's in the whole way and catches the band. Not the best feeling.
6 for Väinö in a row.
6-pack.
That's a double turkey.
Yeah, he's on fire. No pars for the round so far.
That is true. Got a couple of drop-in birdies here for Nate and Calvin, who just parked it on the approach as Nate bags himself a turkey here.
Moving into hole 8, 423-foot par 3. One of the true left to right moving holes that favors a left-handed throw or a forehand. No question about it. But it is still also reachable with the backhand shot, just a bit more touchy for that turnover, maybe even a backhand roller.
Väinö indeed looking roller, as you were talking about.
Yeah, I think that pushed a little bit too long before it curled off to the right. He may still have a look for the birdie, though.
Was really expecting backhand turnover here from Nate Sexton. Surprised to see the forehand out.
I mean,
I guess that works, though.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm surprised he didn't hit the basket again.
Might as well.
Calvin is going with that touchy backhand turnover shot and showing you why it is a little bit touchier. Barely gets that disc a bit overturned and dives and ends up about 60 feet short instead of getting that float.
This looks a little too straight from Ricky. Did not have the stability to get out of that and skip towards the pin.
Yeah, what I meant earlier by saying this is one of the true lefty favorable holes is most of the time that forehand distance you have to reach is about 380 or 400. This one adds a little bit over 400, so Ricky he does have elite distance, but that time just a little bit overpowered on that one, trying to make sure he got there.
Yeah, Väinö doesn't have much here.
Oh, he's going out sideways.
So the streak will end. But still done a lot of work on this front 9. It has hole 9 to go. So Ricky will bag a nice putt at least.
Yeah, saves himself the par, which you've got to do on this hole. Not many birdies, as it is a longer sidearm hole. Only 20% of the field able to card the birdie, but 72% did take a par.
Four in a row for Sexton. Gets him to 4 down with 1 left to play here on the front 9.
Moving us into hole 9, one that has had a pretty drastic change in pin position from earlier on this year. 682-foot par 4. We have the old FPO position, which I believe is a great play. I don't know for certain, but I feel like there was maybe only 3 birdies.
Oh, the hole is a nightmare at DDO.
On the weekend at DDO. It was so far away.
Yeah, it was such a difficult hole. I think this is a great change as well.
You do have some OB off to the left side if you get your backhand hyzer up too much, and you've also got OB over on the right side if you find that kind of tree line. But much less wind to contend with off of the tee, so that OB shouldn't really come into play all that often.
Beautiful shot from Väinö.
Oh, that
Perfect
is
angle.
Huge.
I mean, he trusted that disc on the angle perfectly. Lights out.
That could have been 500 feet right there. That was a smash.
Wouldn't doubt it.
This big tree Calvin just passed. That's about 370 feet off of the tee. And I'm pretty sure Väinö went 150 feet past that.
Similar line to Väinö from Ricky, just a little too high, gets caught up there, but still makes a good progress.
So dropping down on the left side, looks like he's going to have to either hit this gap or go for a flex. Decides to hit that gap, but leaves it just a bit low. Going to have a long circle 2 look, try to move him to 3 down.
Solid there from Calvin, gets him in the circle 1.
It's crazy to see how drastically different this hole has played with the amount of wind that we don't have and the shortening of the pin.
I feel like this was top 5 difficulty at DDO for sure.
Yeah, there wasn't any birdies really, so it had to be in that top 1 or 2. I feel like it was most likely the hardest without actually looking at it. And today, it is the easiest with 61% of the field taking a birdie on this hole.
Yeah, it's just a nice fair par 4, right? It makes you work for it on the approach. Have to be accurate through some of these trees, but, you know, definitely I think an improvement from DDO.
Väinö going to be 6 down now through the front 9 after carding a bogey to start. Just absolutely shredding this front 9. Sexton looking for 5 in a row.
There it is. Great front 9 for Sexton.
Yeah, it seemed like he was starting slow, but then once you get 5 in a row, you forget about that slow start pretty quickly. Got a pretty attackable back 9 coming up. Calvin gets the 3rd birdie on the card, and Ricky's gonna tap in a unfortunate par here. It's not one you want to get the par on when 60% of the field's pretty much taking a stroke on you.
Yeah, he just seems a little off for his standard coming into this front 9. We'll see if he can pick it up on the back half of the course. Take a look at our results. As you can see, Väinö just on an absolute tear for the front half of the course, and Sexton getting hot, going 6 down through the last 7 holes. Take a look at how things are kind of shaping up on the leaderboard right now. You got Ellis, Dickerson, Väinö on our card, all off to great starts. Still a lot of disc golf to play for the World Championship, this being a 5-round event. And we thank you so much for tuning in. We hope that you'll follow and subscribe so you can catch all of our Worlds coverage throughout the week. course, a special thank you goes out to our Patreon supporters who help make all this coverage possible. And I'm Dustin Mouret, and with me is Nathan Queen, and we'll see you on the back nine here soon.
We'll see you guys out there.